Hello, thank you for joining me in a new video. Today, I want to share with you what I like the most and the least about the Galaxy S25 after thoroughly testing it, especially if you're thinking about purchasing it. So, it's time to tell you not to make the decision to buy the Galaxy S25 before watching this video. Let's take a moment to consider its initial launch price, which was set at 19,999 pesos. However, it's important to note that by the time this video is published, that price has become quite distant. In reality, this device is now available at a significantly lower price, making it a much more appealing option for consumers. Nevertheless, as is our usual practice, we evaluate all products based on their original launch price. So, allow me to share with you what I found most impressive about it to begin with. To begin with, the distribution is excellent. You can locate it in numerous physical as well as online stores, which also makes it simple to find some unique discounts. The S25 is particularly noteworthy for its compact size. Very few devices fit so comfortably in the hand. Therefore, if you're in search of a relatively small cell phone, this is among the top choices. Additionally, there are a variety of colors to choose from. In this instance, I have the green edition, but there are several more colors available. The sound quality is among the best we've found in this device, particularly given its compact size, making it stand out significantly. At the software level, it also features excellent tools such as the standalone application sound, which you know will enable us to achieve that. Some application sounds on the cell phone while another application sounds on a Bluetooth speaker. The front camera is also of excellent quality as it has autofocus and gives us a photo. Video is great. We're truly going to discover some intense quality here. When it comes to portrait photography, it's going to be quite positive, providing us with a beautiful and natural blur effect. An interesting feature is its ability to record up to 8K at 30 frames per second. Naturally, this resolution is quite uncommon, and I wouldn't even suggest recording in 8K all the time since the phone's storage will fill up rapidly. Plus, it's a quality that you can't fully utilize on TVs or similar devices just yet. However, it's really appreciated that this feature is available, because if you suddenly decide to record something and you're unsure whether you'll frame it vertically or horizontally, having all these extra pixels can be quite helpful. Additionally, can record in 4K slow motion at 120 frames per second, which is definitely very interesting and impressive to see in such a compact device. Especially considering if its price has already dropped, it is certainly going to be one of the best options available. Plus, of course, it provides a dual recording mode, and in this case, it also supports 4K. At the software level, you know it's filled with features such as edge panels that include various tools utilizing artificial intelligence. Additionally, you can open applications in a floating mode or even in a split screen mode. There are modes and routines available to easily configure and automate your entire cell phone experience. And naturally, you have access to the complete Galaxy suite in its entirety, available with numerous artificial intelligence features, including audio eraser, photo eraser, and much more. Additionally, at the security level, it provides excellent options such as secure folders, secure Wi-Fi, Samsung Kids, maintenance mode, and many others. While many other Android devices also have similar tools, or in some cases ones that can compete, if you compare it, for instance, with the iPhone, it offers significantly more options at the software level. The battery is 4,000 meters. Although it's quite small, the optimization seems excellent. In my background draining test, it lasted 6 hours and 4 minutes. Keep in mind that other phones with larger batteries only reach about 4.5 hours. So this phone has impressive optimization despite its small battery. We also have Samsung DeX, allowing connection to an external monitor, wireless keyboard and mouse, letting you run apps in a computer-like window format for good productivity. Ecosystem support is excellent, including the Galaxy Watch, Galaxy Buds, Galaxy Ring, Galaxy Tab, and a lot more to enhance your experience with various accessories. Additionally, it is a device that performs with great agility. During my test, it took approximately 1.75 seconds on average to open each app, and it truly feels very good. The optimization that Samsung has achieved with One UI 8 is very good because previously, it used to use a lot of RAM and had white screens, but since One UI 8, things improved and the experience is polished. Even when it comes to gaming performance, it has been quite impressive after we tested it thoroughly. There's also another interesting detail that I almost forgot to mention. For instance, in panoramic mode, you have the option to use the ultra-wide camera. Unlike most cell phones that only allow the main camera to be used, this one lets you capture a much wider panoramic photo. However, let me now share with you what I didn't find appealing about it. To begin with, it lacks Gorilla Armor, which is the anti-reflective glass found in the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Therefore, reflections are going to be much more pronounced here. It also doesn't come with the LHDC high-resolution audio codec for Bluetooth, although it does include LDAC and Samsung's proprietary codec. However, if you're someone who was specifically looking for LHDC because you already own headphones that use that codec, you won't be able to fully utilize it here with all its quality. Additionally, the ultra-wide camera still lacks autofocus. Are we really in the year 2020 or what? The fact is, this is one of our major complaints about this device. Its camera system has not evolved well at all. For instance, the telephoto camera has remained unchanged for several generations, and that's becoming quite frustrating because even mid-range devices have caught up or surpassed it in terms of zoom quality. Additionally, in this particular situation, the fingerprint reader is limited to supporting only 4 enrollments. This is in contrast to most other devices, which typically support 5 enrollments. Samsung is the only brand that imposes such a limitation. The fingerprint numbers you can register here. I know that most people say that if I register 1 or 2 of mine, that's it. But you also have to understand the people who can register more people they trust and who also want to have the convenience of easily unlocking the cell phone. Because here you are only limited to 4 registrations. But what's really serious about this device is its 128 GB base storage. That's going to fill up really fast, which just to do the review or do some comparisons is complicated because it fills up instantly. So if you are going to buy it, something very important to take into account is to avoid the 128 gigabytes model. The detail is that the higher models then become a little more expensive, but currently, after nearly a year since this device was launched, I believe you can now find it at a highly competitive price, making it a really great option. If you have already purchased it, please share your experience with me in the comment section. At this point, we have reached the conclusion of this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to let me know. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.